Hi, I'm Brian O'Rourke. Welcome back to another episode of the Modern Salon Experience behind the scenes, joined again by Michele Pelafas, our partner in this project. And we're going to talk about a really important area of the salon in the Modern Salon Experience, and that is the service area. Now, a lot of people talk about the kitchen being the heart of the home. Michele, would you say that the service area is the heart of the salon? And then tell me some trends you're seeing in terms of, safety now, spacing. Do people like to have their services in that communal atmosphere, or do people want more privacy now? Let's touch on ergonomics and safety for the stylist, not just the client comfort. And then finally, let's talk about the importance of retail. You have, again, a captive client here. We have a dedicated retail area, but what's the importance of having retail again in this area?
All good questions. So absolutely, your styling area, your service area is the heart of the salon environment. We talked about first impressions. Well, the service area is, to me, the most important part here is about attention to detail. And that really comes down to comfort. That's probably the biggest thing that we're seeing. And comfort can be accomplished through a number of different ways. A lot of people associate comfort with just a styling chair or a chair, but comfort is all about lighting. It's about acoustics. There's so many, and that really comes down to wellness.
Sure.
If you really want to look at it from that regard, comfort is wellness. And that's what today's consumer is looking for. They want to feel safe, they want to feel secure, they want to feel comfortable. Now, on the other end of the spectrum, it's about revenue, right?
Sure,
revenue
sure,
generating
absolutely.
opportunity.
We're in business.
We're in business to make money. And so the way I approach design, pre-COVID, is I think it's still important to utilize every square inch of your space effectively. Every square inch, now more than ever, matters, but it doesn't mean cramming it all in. That's the big difference. It's a sense of order, it's a sense of calm, it's a sense of beauty. And those are the things that we look at, and the warmth that we have in the space through the lighting, all of those details that help the client to feel safe, secure, and comfortable.
Sure. So we're seeing safety evolutions, we're seeing wellness. So maybe not just getting in and out for your service, but having a sense of relaxation too. So somewhere in between hairstyling and the spa type experience.
Exactly, and I think that's what today's consumer is looking for, and that's what they need.
Sure, understand. Now, talk to me about space and work for the stylist themselves. We're creating this beautiful experience for the client, but the people who are standing there and doing the work day in and day out, they need to be comfortable as well. So what are we seeing in terms of that?
Well, and it's, believe it or not, it's a lot of the same elements, right? So what's comfortable for the consumer, the guest, also needs to be comfortable for the worker. And that lighting is a big element for that. So if glare is coming into the play or shadowing, all of these elements, especially in lighting, can impact how comfortable the stylist can work in a space. Think about the chair. If it's too wide or the back is too tall, these sorts of details will play into how comfortable the stylist feels and how well they can do their job. So some of those same elements come into play with what we're doing for the consumer. At the same time, as a design firm, we're challenged with creating these luxury environments to create this luxe look and feel, but having the materials be sterilish and easily cleanable. So that's the balance, is trying to find materials and finishes that are easily cleanable. That helps the worker to do their job easily as well, and gives everybody, including the guest and the worker, the assurance of a clean, sanitary experience without sacrificing luxury.
Correct, yeah, it's a tough balance, isn't it?
Yes.
Now, talk to me about some of those materials for people who are wondering, what might be a better, more sanitary material? What might something to avoid, something porous?
That's it right there. So the hard surfaces are generally the less porous. And so those are the plastic laminates. Those are the stainless steel surfaces, those sorts of things. Some of the things you have to be careful of is actual stone, for example. Those can be porous. And so those are the types of materials that we're looking for. Antimicrobial surfaces that are, kill germs are very important. Some of the things that we're looking for as well when we're designing these spaces.
What about are we seeing in the dividers? We've heard a lot about those and putting a physical barrier between stylists and between the guests and things like that.
If it helps the guest to feel comfortable, and every salon owner knows and understands their clientele and their particular circumstances in this type of environment that we're working. But it can also give a false sense of security. So I caution before you put up barriers is to make sure that you're doing the things that the CDC recommends and keeping things clean and sanitary. And if the consumer has that level of comfort and understanding and security, I don't know that the barriers are essential. I do think they're important at the reception desk, but to divide up the space is just more to clean, more to touch, and so it's really finding that balance.
Now, coming back to the aesthetics and the actual modern salon experience that you've worked with us here, your team took what was basically a kind of a loose concept and you really ran with it. And you gave us some vision boards, which had a couple of color palettes to go with. And we selected this very rich luxe feel with the golds and the blacks. Talk to me again about aesthetics in the service area. We talked about the importance of first impressions when you enter the salon. What should the aesthetics and the vibe and the feel be in the service area?
Well, I think that's a very good question, Brian. And interesting, a lot of people wouldn't really think about this, but as a designer, I have my favorites, right? We customize interior spaces. That's the most important thing for our clients, is that we customize interiors to fit their specific brands and their specific identities. And we try to customize every single space to be different. So when we were thinking about this modern salon experience, we were thinking about a design that would be quite broad, that would fit a variety of people who liked just salon design in general.
Sure.
So that's
they wouldn't
sort
be
of
turned off by something too ethereal,
Exactly.
but still feel luxurious. Okay.
And timeless, and something that would be a little classic, but at the same time had visual appeal. And so one of the things that we do that's important to me in almost all the spaces that we do is this drama and the contrast. And you're seeing that with the light and dark. You're seeing some of the lighter ceilings. Another thing that we do is this mix of metals. So we're showing the silvers and the golds and the champagne bronze materials and finishes, just for a mix of metals. And I think that keeps something classic and timeless.
And the stone, very classic.
Yes.
Coming back to hygienics and making sure that you can get the hair off the floor, things like that.
And while this is a fairly a cool space in terms of colors, it's white, it's black, but at the same time it's a warm white, and we add a lot of texture. So that's another thing that you're seeing on the walls, on the ceilings, and always we try to integrate an organic element. You're seeing this in the botanical ceiling here, and even if that's in the form of shapes, I think it's important to add an organic element or organic details. It doesn't mean that it has to be a plant, but it could be something that's architectural and something that's interesting, that replicates nature. And biophilia is an important part of how the guest wants to feel. It's that love of nature in any type of space, even a contemporary modern space.
Full circle with the wellness again.
There it is.
Great.